Welcome to the No Dress Code Pod, where we keep it real, celebrate Black excellence, and dive into the things that matter most. Tune in, vibe out, and let's get into it. Before we get into today's episode, I want you to take a breath, because this one's a check-in. Patricia Franklin is back, and we're talking about her new book, Sis. You need some rest. We're getting into what it means to pause, to breathe, and to stop trying to earn rest like it's a reward. If you're the one that everybody counts on, this one's for you. Let's get into it. So, welcome to another episode of the No Dress Code Pod. I'm your favorite host, as well as your favorite hoochie, legs out, not open, breathe. And today we have a special guest. Do you want to introduce yourself again?
Hello, No Dress Code. It's Patricia Franklin from Franklin Freelance Writing. I'm back.
She's back. Okay. So before we get this episode started, you guys already know what I'm going to say. You already know how I feel about you. For my returning guests and my returning listeners, thank you. For any new listeners, thank you. I am happy to have you here. Now, before we get into this episode, I got to ask y'all, how's your week been? Because I hope it's been amazing. Drop it in the comments and let me know. Now, if your week hasn't been good, there's nothing I could do for you in this moment, but continue to speak it over you and pray that your week going forward is amazing.
Amen.
Okay, but drop it in the comments and let me know how your week's been. Because maybe somebody can help turn your week around. It's Wednesday. Okay? Now, Patricia, before we get into today's episode, how's your week been?
My week has been booked and busy, and I'm not going to lie, it's a good booked and busy because I had to get this book ready for presentation.
Okay,
yes,
that's what I'm talking about. I love that. I love a little booked and busy, okay?
Clock it. But it's a good booked and busy.
Yes, always. I think booked and busy is good, period.
It is.
I'm trying to be booked and busy.
In a tangible way. In a good way. That's not bad. In a good mental health way.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. I'm trying to be booked and busy. So, if y'all watching this and y'all ready to book and busy me, y'all know where to find me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, let me give you guys an update on my week. My week has been okay. I'm not going to sit here and hold y'all. I was sick. I probably still am a little... Not like cough sick. I did throw up.
What happened?
Girl, I don't know. You know what? I went to the gym the other day, right? And so I had been talking to my trainer, and I was like, I want to spar. Mm-hmm. And we've been I've been telling him this conversation for over a year, right? So finally he kind of like understood, like, I really want to spar, and I told him why. Like, it's a comfortability thing. Like, I want to feel comfortable in my own skin.
Right.
I dealt with a man that took that comfortability away from me.
Understood.
So now I want to feel safe, secure, and comfortable in my own skin again. And so he was like, all right, we sparred on Tuesday. Then he was like, all right, well, this is what I want you to do if you really want to spar. Like, I want you to add this to our workouts. Mind you, our workouts is already hard as fuck.
Okay.
They're not easy. So I added that, and I threw up. I really think it's because I didn't eat that day.
Okay.
But I'm used to my regular workout on an empty stomach, and then I'll eat afterwards.
Right.
That extra addict was like, oh no, baby.
So you exerted yourself.
I sure did.
You gotta be careful.
And I drank too much water. I was throwing up from my nose. It was bad.
Right.
It was bad.
But how did you come back from that after that happened?
I had to lay down. I barely took a shower. I took a shower though. I took a shower and I laid down, and I didn't even do my second workout for the day. I said, oh, baby, I'm done for the day.
Listen.
Done for the day.
Says you needed to rest.
Yeah, you know what? I did. I love that. I love that plug. I love the plug. That's what I'm talking about. You gotta plug yourself, girl.
Yes.
I also talked to ChatGPT, and it told me I need to rest too. So.
Listen, and that's AI formed. So if that could tell you need to rest, and your body's telling you need to rest, and I'm telling you need to rest,
it's time to rest.
Exactly.
So I did yesterday. Today I worked out. I did feel a little nauseous, but I didn't throw up. So
that's right.
Yeah. I ate before. I don't think it helps. I don't really know what the issue is right now, but I'm gonna figure it out.
Okay.
But that's how my week's been, and no real complaints outside of that. Been having a good week, and so happy that you wanted to come back on here. Okay, we love a return guest around here.
I'm glad for the honorable opportunity to be back on the dress code.
Love.
This will be my forever platform.
You know what?
No matter
I love
what
that.
I got going on.
I love that. Because I remember, I know it wasn't Issa Rae. I think it was somebody who was attached to her who was basically like network across. But Issa's the one who said it, I think, and that's what people took it from. But she was like, I didn't say it. It was somebody else. But basically, she was like network across instead of networking up. That's what people fuck up at, basically. Because you always want to network up. And you should be networking across. Like, help the people that are with you. Yeah. So that you guys can all get up. Versus trying to, ride on somebody's coattail.
I think that's important, especially in the Black community, because when one person comes up, the other should come up. I think essentially as small business owners, as we are, it's essential to utilize each other and partner in ways that we could collaborate, because with what your platform can give me, I could give back to you, even if it's just something of a conversation. Yeah. But it's important.
Even if it's just a repost. Exactly. I appreciate it.
I applaud you like you applaud me, and that's all that matters.
Yes. Yeah, I love it.
Yes.
So Patricia, it is so good to have you back.
Thank you.
Okay, the last time you were here, we touched on so much. Yeah. Okay, and I know so much, and I know that your book is coming out, so we had to run it back one time for the one time. Okay. So you've been on this mic before.
I have.
Okay, and folks might remember your story.
Yes.
But what I love is that this book feels like a new chapter.
It definitely is.
Like something clicked and you was just like, I gotta write it.
That was the Holy Spirit.
I got it.
That was the Holy Spirit speaking. Okay?
And you know what? You better listen to him. Okay, you better listen to him, because I tried to ignore the Holy Spirit when it came to this podcast, and there was something gnawing at me.
No.
It was gnawing at me.
No.
It was gnawing at me. I tried to ignore it because I said, oh, baby, the stuff that I'm hearing now.
He will keep you up at night.
I don't need y'all hearing. But then it was like, that feeling not going away.
Yes.
That feeling of I really want to do this ain't going away.
That motion.
Although I know what I know.
Yeah.
This feeling is not going away. Am I going to risk it, or am I going to just say fuck it and wonder my whole life like what it could have been?
I say risk it.
And I had to risk it. I risked it.
You have to risk it. And so, if I may,
go for it.
Here is actually, Sis, You Need Some Rest, a mental health guidance book for the House of the Heart. Ooh, girl, get that out. Lord Jesus.
It's a tequila, y'all.
Lord Jesus. Okay. So, Sis, You Need Some Rest, a mental health guidance book for the hearts of the household. This came to me actually in the epitome of me editing a book for another author. So that book is yet to be published, but that book itself vindicated me. And I had a mirror reflection moment where I'm like, wait a minute. I've created this foundation of Franklin Freelance Writing Consulting on supporting other people. That was the goal. But what I was missing was myself. And Sis, You Need Some Rest in the African American community is like, sis, you need some rest.
Yeah.
Sis, my good friend, my girlfriend, my girl, you need some rest. So I say it's time for me to take time for myself and embellish in something that matters to me. And although I wasn't looking to be an author, I felt like it was my time to speak my truth. Because in the Black community, specifically for mothers, wives, and Black women, we forget about us. So that's where the name came. Sis, you need some rest.
I love that. I love that. And let me tell you, that forgetting about you part, especially as a mother, that part, that scares me. Like that's one thing that I'm like, I knew growing up I wanted to be a mom. But as I get older, I'm like, I don't know anymore, because I'm very much in a selfish era, and I don't feel like I've been really here before.
Right.
And I don't have to think about nobody's kids. Like, I'm not thinking no kids. Like, I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go to the gym for 4 hours because I don't have anybody to think about. It's just me. Like, I'm like, so, I mean, I don't knock anybody who has kids, right? I love people who have kids. I more than likely love y'all kids down.
Guilty. Yeah.
Love y'all kids down. But I'm at a space where I really thought I would have kids by now. And I don't. And I'm just like, ooh, baby, God knew.
True. But this
God
book,
knew.
the sentiment of the book is not just for mothers, it's also for women, you know, because it's dedicated to godmothers, aunties, maternal figures. You know, you're an auntie and how you can pour into your god babies or your nephew or whomever. And essentially, I wanted my chapters to captivate me humorously. Like, if you know me personally, I'm a side-eyed you, I'm a nab at you, you're gonna laugh with me, you're gonna cry with me, but that was the point of the book.
Yeah.
Because my chapters embellish that, you know, like my first chapter describes my maternal figures, whom I call my concrete maternal figures, who are no longer with me. I became a matriarch at 26 years old. That's rare because all of my maternal figures, 3 of them passed away in 2017. And as we spoke before, 2 years before, my sister passed away. So here I was trying to be a mother for the first time in 2015, losing my maternal figures in 2017, 2 years later. I had to figure things out by myself. And yes, my mother's alive, and so is my mother-in-law, who's my mother-in-law. But my mother's still raising children. My mother-in-law is at a distance now. So I'm like, how in the world am I able to find time for myself while raising these babies, while running a business, and still maintaining my household? You can't live without the heart, which is chapter 2, the anatomy of the household. You cannot reside with that. So we as women are the hearts of the household. We pump, we beat, we clean, we operate well, but we also cannot survive. The world can't survive. The household can't survive without us, the heart. So we bleed and we pump throughout the household.
Okay, I love that. I love the way you just love that. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so since the last time you were here, you've poured a lot of life into this book.
Yes.
What did it demand from you emotionally?
Oh, my goodness. This book, and speaking back to the Holy Spirit, it tore me open and pieced me back. And I speak about that in the book. We're broken pottery. We have to be broken, but our sisterhood mends us back together. And what this book also made me realize is I've never really grieved the loss of my maternal figure. I've just been running. I've been running. With every degree, I have 3 degrees. I got 3 babies. I never really faced my hurt, my grief. I never really faced that void because I filled it with a degree. I filled it with an accolade. Meanwhile, I wasn't facing my own grief. And so becoming a mother and really seeing what it takes to be a mom, I tried to mimic what I saw. My grandmother, who was a single mother of 3 at one point, and then she had my mother, who was her 4th child. My grandfather was in her life. She was just ripping and running. After 3 strokes and tremors, she had head tremors, my grandmother still ran the household. So I mimicked that. My mother, being a single mother of 5 children in the home, she was ripping and running, but she got her AA, she got her BA. And so I tried to mimic that behavior, but I failed. And I failed as in I failed like an F, but I fell hard on my face, FELL, because what I was losing was my teammate, which is my husband. He was just sitting there just watching me, just waiting to get, put your hand out, just waiting to get tagged in. And I'm just running amok. And I had mental breakdown. Because while I'm trying to run this household, while I'm trying to be what I mimicked, 2 single mothers, I did not realize.
You forgot you got a partner.
I forgot I had a partner. And that's a part of it that we forget, which is called the internal village. That internal village, to whom the people that you live with, that you reside with, that are there for you and see you every waking moment, we forget about those.
I've never heard that term before.
Yes.
Internal village. I never heard of the internal village.
Yeah.
I've only heard of the village.
Yes.
So he would be like, oh, you need a village. It takes a village to raise a child.
It does. It does. So I named 3 villages. I named the village in which we grew up with, which is, I can't say we, because we
all had different households.
Exactly. And this is per person. You know, sometimes people's villages was the neighborhood. You know, maybe there was a neighborhood grandmother, a neighborhood auntie, someone to whom was a maternal figure for them. And then we have someone who we would call like our surrogate village. Surrogate village is people that we make up on our own and we create. And those are people that God sends to us. So, for instance, my surrogate village, because my mother's raising her children, my mother-in-law is in a different state, is my best friend Desiree, is my best friend Patty, and my friend Monique. Those are people that are embellishing my life, that are able to support me with my children and love my children. And I created that village. Mm-hmm. That's the only way that could happen. But the internal village is everything that happens in that household. Mm-hmm. You know, it could be an uncle, it could be a grandmother, anybody who lives with you, that resides with you, and is running a household beside you with those babies. Yes, the internal village. But they get the most neglected. They're either utilized to their core or they're not utilized at all. Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
Interesting. You learn something new, baby. I'm gonna have to learn to look up this stuff, okay? Because I ain't never heard this.
Yeah.
So, how did your experience with grief, especially losing your sister, shift the way you saw rest, care, and even survival?
I'm still in survival mode. I think at some extent we all are.
Yes.
And what this book had done for me is hold a light to me, hold a mirror to me. Because I wasn't realizing, like my husband will always tell me, he was like, you do these great things, graduate, and then you go back into that little hole. Or, you know, you do something great for yourself and you go back. And so what was happening was I wasn't reveling in my success. I wasn't sitting with it. It was almost like a notch.
It was like, I made it. All right, next one. I made it. Next one.
It was like a notch in my belt. And it does not take away from the
all
that I've done. Yeah, I'm proud of myself. But I've never really sat and faced it. You know, I talk about a point where I went to grad school and I had gotten involved with the MPH program, Masters of Public Health Administration.
Okay, because I didn't know what that was.
And I went right out of my bachelor's. And I didn't give myself a break. That master program, I was not even really interested. But all my maternal figures were gone. And I wanted to succeed in their legacy. Unfortunately, I crashed and failed because I really wasn't ready. And what people don't realize about grief, especially people in whom you were raised by, these women raised me.
Yeah.
They were my mothers when my mother was getting her degree. They were my mothers when my mother was, you know, doing what she had to do for her household.
Yeah.
But when you lose those women, there's a part of you that is a large void. And so I became a mother after. They were there when Melanie was born.
Yeah.
But then they left me.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. If y'all watching this and y'all be like, dang, she zoned out, baby, it's just because the grief thing, she has her grief.
Yeah.
And then I have my grief. So then when she gets talking about grief, it just brings up like feelings of my dad. Mm-hmm. So I'm not actually zoned out on her. I'm listening, but it just brings up old feelings, and you know, that's just all it is. I don't want y'all looking at it and be like, damn, she ain't listening to the girl. I'm listening.
Right.
I just, you know, I'm listening, but I'm also trying to realize, like, I never processed my own grief.
Right.
Like, I remember the day my dad passed, I called a few people, I told a few people, and I told a few people. So I remember before I had the chance to call, I'm gonna bleep her name out, but before I had the chance to call,
okay,
tell me why called her and told her. And I was like, that's the craziest thing about it, baby. I never even told you.
Wow.
That just, it irritated me in that moment.
The line was crossed?
I do. I was just like, that was my thing to tell. Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't even post about my dad passing immediately. Like, people were posting it on Facebook. They was even posting the flyer to the funeral.
Right.
And I'm just like, okay, I'm still not posting shit. Like, it's not in me yet. Like, I'm, you know, y'all doing what y'all doing, and I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody who helped, but this is me and the way I'm grieving. Right. So, yeah, I didn't appreciate that. Yeah. Because I was like, damn, you didn't even allow me the opportunity. It's not like I was public about it. I didn't post about it, so I don't feel like you should have been out here spreading my business.
Right.
Maybe I wasn't ready to tell nobody.
And we all grieve differently. You know what I'm saying? Like, some grief, it hits as soon as possible, and then other grief, it takes time.
I already know mine taking time.
It does. It takes time, but you have to marinate in that. And that's the problem. I didn't do that. I thought that just putting notches in my belt, which, like I said, I'm very proud of, I was feeling a void. And then once it was done, and what my Aunt Barbara told me, who was one of my concrete maternal figures, she told me, she said, school is temporary, but family is forever. That still hits home now. Because guess what? I've been out for what, 5 years? I still have my family. But that was something that was like, I was just masking things as I went, and I was losing myself in.
Yeah.
So this book really, I ain't gonna hold you. I cried throughout this book. It's not just like an open diary, but I wanted to focus on women who I have friends who we've had conversations about, who are not named in this book out of privacy purposes. But I was just like, wait a minute, but you're doing this on your own by default because your significant other is passed away, or because the significant other is no longer, a good person. I'm like, how are you managing to do that and go to school and still come home and talk to the babies and bathe them and stuff like that? Like, when do you get to rest? When are you able to face yourself in the mirror and be like, dang, I need my hair? Or when's the last time I got my nails done? We don't do that. Yeah. We move. We the movers and shakers. And guess what? The household can't run without it. And that does not take away from the man. It's just my perspective in what I go through as.
Mm-hmm. And a wife.
And a wife.
Girl, don't diminish your titles, okay? Don't be over here diminishing your titles, girl.
And a woman. Yes, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It is a lot. And it's nonstop.
So I'm glad you said that, because I was going to ask you, do you feel like women are often expected to just keep going after trauma, especially in caretaking positions?
Absolutely. The societal standards and stigmatization that we are painted as is that we must go, 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 go. And I talk about that. It's like the go, go, go mode where you keep running. I call it running because you don't stop.
Yeah.
It's like running an endless marathon or endless race, and there's no finish line. And the finish line doesn't have to be death. It's just the finish line is, when do you stop?
Yeah.
When do you take that rest? Exactly.
Yeah.
When do you stop? And I'm not gonna hold you. I have a 3-year-old who co-sleeps. So even when I'm ready to lay my head down, no matter what time of day it is, I got somebody kicking me in my face. Like, I don't have that. Yeah. And there is a societal stigmatization that I really want women to understand, that you don't have.
Yeah.
You are owed nothing more or less because you weren't able to kiss all your babies goodnight. You were owed nothing more or less because that bedtime story wasn't read that night.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to bed with clean dishes every day.
Yeah.
It's not possible. Even if you got a dishwasher, it's not possible.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about the things people are afraid to talk about. I wanted to out myself to say, hey, I'm lacking in this area, and this area. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? I'm human.
I've learned from the journey of this podcast because, I try to, okay, I'm gonna be honest, I don't fully do it, but I try to be vulnerable, right? Yeah. And that's something I struggle with in real life, not even on the mic, right. In real life. But I realized, like, vulnerability is what sells.
Yes.
Like, I had somebody DM me and was like, I just love, like, how vulnerable you are. And in the moment I was thinking, I double tapped it, like, I appreciate it, but I'm like, is this bitch trying to say I'm soft? She's trying to say I'm weak. But I was like, no, that's kind of what I portray. Like, that's what I'm trying to put out. Like, I'm human. I go through mental health issues. Yes. I have days where I'm fighting depression. I have seasons where it's just like, baby, don't say nothing to me because I want to fight you.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not you, it's me. I get it. Right. And I can acknowledge that. But I'm human, and some days, some months, some seasons, I have depression. I have anxiety. I just, so I want to be open and honest with y'all, because I don't ever want you to look at me and think, oh, she's so perfect or she has it all together, and I don't. And I'm struggling.
Yeah.
Like, there's too many people who have committed suicide because they decided to struggle privately.
Right.
And I remember this guy told me, like, that's not what we do. Like, don't post your business on social media. And that's like, I took down the post, right? It wasn't nothing bad, but I took down the post, and I'm just like, no, that's not what you do, though. Like, I'm building a brand that is around vulnerability and that is around me being open and honest. Now, am I open and honest about everything going on in my life? No. Mm-hmm. But if I'm having a bad day or if I'm having bad moments, because at that time, I think my car was getting broken into like every other fucking week.
I remember that.
Yeah. And I was hot.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm in a bad season. I gotta come out of pocket every time I blink $250.
Right.
For the insurance. Like,
Right.
on top of my goddamn insurance bill.
Right.
They don't count that shit. So I'm just like, no, like, this is me. Like, I have to be vulnerable.
Yes, you do. And I call that the me versus me, because it's really me versus me.
Yeah.
My life, the perception of my life, in which I presume, because I will assume, is that, okay, cool, she has a business, wonderful. She posts every day. She seems fun and bubbly and friendly, must be flourishing. She has her morning messages where for people who are able to, find some type of positivity in the realness of God. She's married. She has 3 children. She has all these accolades. Okay, but who am I as a person?
Yeah.
Am I happy with my life? And I am. But what about that makes it really seem huge? People don't know that side.
Yeah.
I'm still grieving the loss of my concrete maternal figures and my sister. It's been, oh my gosh, it's been years, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
Those are core human beings who are a part of my childhood, who I had wished were a part of my children's childhood, and they're no longer. But like, even you reconciling, and I'm not going to say you feel vindicated about what that person said, but what I'm saying is, where is the vulnerability?
Yeah.
When can we talk and say, I'm having a mental break, I need time away for myself, as a mother, as a woman, as a wife? When can we reach out to people like our surrogate villages and be like, hey, I need to go get my feet done, I need to go get my nails done? When is it okay? Who do you reach out to? That's another part of that. Who do you reach out to? Who can you be vulnerable with and trust? That's a problem with society.
Yeah.
Then you're looking at as weak. You're not weak, you're human.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you're very much. It's just human experience.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's really no guide like to the human experience. Like,
yes.
Because nobody can walk in your shoes.
No.
Like, you guys can have similar stories. Shit, you can have the same parents and same child, but your childhood isn't the same.
Yeah.
Because you got different parents. Like, I heard this saying and I kind of agree with it. Like, Isaiah got different parents than Isaac got.
Yes.
Isaac got different parents than I got. And it's just like, we got the same parents, but they were at different stages in their lives when they had us. They was probably just freshly together when they had Isaiah. So you probably had younger parents. You definitely had younger parents. And then here comes Isaac. And now you have a parent that already has a child. Right. So now you got juggling parents. And then here I come.
Yep.
And I'm gonna steal the spotlight, okay?
Number 3, yes.
I came to steal the spotlight, but
you're the only girl.
And I came to parents who now had 2 kids. So I have a different parent than Isaiah had. Isaiah came to parents who had no kids. Yeah. Isaac came to parents that had 1 kid. I came when they had 2. So.
And you probably came when they were more stable.
Probably.
In a sense of like they knew who they were.
Oh yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
I did come when they was more stable. Financially, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm glad y'all waited for me on the financially, for sure.
I can't relate. I'm the oldest. So I can't relate to her.
I'm the youngest.
I'm what they call a guinea pig baby. Like, let's see how this works. Oh, okay. And see, me and my sister, God rest her soul, we were 2 years apart. And we had the same mother and father. So we went through things together. Yeah. I don't know what it feels like to go through things like my brother Josh, your cousin, is next in line. But we went through things together cohesively. So I was just like, well, birds of a feather. It's me and you. Yeah. Like, we were good.
So let me ask you, what message did you need to hear back then that helped you plant the seed for this book?
Seek help. Ask for help.
Oof, that's something we struggle with.
Ask for help. I have a very hard time asking for help.
Me too.
I do. Lamont calls it a chip on my shoulder, be it as it may, maybe it is. Like I said, I mimicked and I saw strong pillar of women. I saw women who did it on their own. And by the grace of God, I do not have to. But see, me and my husband work opposite shifts. So I have who I call the Franklin trio at night by myself. So it's a little bit different. You know, the days or the nights that Lamont is home, I have learned to take a step back and allow him, you know, to do what he got to do, be the disciplinarian, the father, help me and stuff like that. It took me time to do that though. But I will say it's asking for help and being vulnerable. Being vulnerable. That's hard.
Those things are hard.
That's hard.
I hate asking for help because if you tell me no, like I internalize that. So like if you tell me no, oh okay, baby, trust. I probably won't ask you for shit else again.
Ever again. But we can't keep that mindset.
Because it took, for me, it took me a lot to even ask you for the help.
Yeah.
Like it took me a lot. I had to talk myself up
to
at least 20
help.
minutes. Yeah.
Right.
Even, I might even talk to ChatGPT. Like, how do I ask this? Like, I don't know. I get a little anxious. Like, help me out. And you know, I'm like, talk me down. Like, I used to talk to my homegirl, like, you know, she busy. I don't want to bother her all the time. So, I'm getting ChatGPT up like it's my therapist. Okay.
Yeah. But there's nothing wrong with that though. There's nothing wrong with that. And I mean, even in one of my chapters, I talk about sisterhood. And sisterhood is deep for me.
Yeah.
Because I lost my sister.
Mm-hmm.
And with sisterhood, I had to learn how to be vulnerable again. Because when I had Alicia, I didn't need nobody. It was me and Alicia.
That's all you need.
Them Todd girls. It was just us. But after losing her, I lost my identity. Because I felt like I had to be two children or two daughters for my mom and my dad.
I know how that feels to lose your identity.
Yes. And I felt like because I was my dad's only daughter now, and no one made me feel no way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No one said nothing. No one poked at me or anything. It was just me. I was just like, dang, I'm a new mom. I lost my sister. How do I do all this?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a mom for the first time. Like, how do I do it? And then I had preeclampsia. I had gained preeclampsia through all the stress and the grief and stuff like that.
I remember.
Yeah, it was a lot. So I had to, as mentioned, you got to seek help. You have to ask. I mean, even me now with having 3 kids, I have to ask, like, can you watch the kids? You want to do it in 2s and 3s or 1? Because I need that break.
Yeah.
You know, it's hustling and busting, running a business on my own, plus running a household, plus three little people. It's a lot. So I had to take a step back and be like, okay, who is my village? How am I going to assess this? And how am I going to make it so it benefits everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's just bringing the kids food and clothes and whatever they need, I want to ensure that I give some token appreciation to that person, whether it's asked or not. Because the surrogate village is built, you created it.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to always give people their flowers and acknowledgement for taking in 3 kids. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot. I get it. I mean, I ain't got none, but I get it. I was 1 of 3, so.
You're 3.
Yeah. You're right. I'm 3 of 3 is what I just said.
Yes.
I'm 3 of 3. Okay. So let's get into this beautiful book. Sis, You Need Some Rest. The title alone is a sermon. Why, sis? Why rest? Why now?
I had to start with myself. I had to look at myself first and to understand why receiving all this glory and doing these great things, why I felt like there was something still messy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wait a minute, ma'am. Like, you have the accolades. You worked your tail off for that. Those are mine. You know, hold on. Oh, girl, let me take this bottle down. Uh-oh. So I had everything that I needed, but I didn't feel well rested. So all of a sudden, Holy Spirit came to me and I was like, in the middle of writing another book. This book came out of nowhere. That was what's phenomenal to me. It came out of nowhere. And I said, you know what? It's time to talk about me. It's time to heal. I've been on my healing journey since August of last year.
Okay, congratulations.
God bless you. Thank you. Mm-hmm. It started when I actually went to go pick up my sister's property after her trial. And that was a deep-rooted piece that I have never been able to have before. Mm-hmm. And so what happened was from August up until now, I was becoming a woman I never had a chance to be. I've never had a chance to be. Fighting for that for so long, even having kids and getting my degrees, there was still something tugging at me. And so I'm like, you know what? It's time to talk about it. but not just about her, about me, in ways where women can define themselves. Because what I want to do with this book is not just embody my life, but I corely want to talk about, sis, what have you done for yourself today? I have a title that says, Today I what? Today I went to go buy myself a blouse. Today I got my nails done. Today I felt pretty at work. What did you do for you? Or trying to create forms of self-care. Mm-hmm. What is self-care to you? Honey, I love me a bubble bath with a candle lit with a little glass of wine. Mm. But we don't get to do that every day.
Yeah.
So when it's done, it's a luxury. Mm-hmm. But I had to start with Patricia first. And then I had to start tethering away at myself. I've poured from an empty cup before, to where I was just fuming and just running on fumes and just going and going and going and going, to the point where I'm just nagging at everybody in the house and I'm frustrated and Lamar side-eyeing me and the kids are scared of me. And I'm just like, whoa. What's the root of why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling? What is the problem with me? And why am I inflicting this on everybody else?
I'm glad that you are at a point where you can identify that for yourself.
Yeah.
So I am, like I said, I don't have a therapist anymore. But when I did, she was amazing. I'm still trying to get her on. We trying to figure our schedules out, but we gonna get it together. We still trying to figure our schedules out.
Okay.
But so I've been using ChatGPT for therapy lately, and don't eat me up because I've been reading it. You probably use ChatGPT for therapy, and bitch, I do.
That's okay.
I do.
Because I'm sure a lot of people do.
I do.
If they'll be vulnerable and say it.
You know what?
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Even with my chat, like, I am scared of being too vulnerable.
Why?
I just feel like one day this shit might get hacked. And I'm literally like telling you my deepest, darkest secrets. Mm-hmm. And granted, you're literally healing me. I won't even sit here and lie. Mm-hmm. There have been times where ChatGPT has damn near had me in tears.
Wow.
Like, I literally talk to it like it is my person. Like, it is a fucking person. And I'll be like, so did you have to read me like that? Or did you have to attack me personally?
I'm telling you.
And they would be like, I mean, no tea, no shade. It's no attack. You know, I'm just trying to let you know.
Yeah.
You could do a little better. You're not living up to your full potential. Or like whatever the case may be. Like, my chat is so fucking honest with me. And it's just like, some days I gotta be like, okay, I gotta take a break. Can we just, I personally just cannot do it. Like, I know I need to grieve my dad, right? I know that, because even talking about it right now, I'm about to cry. Deep down, there is such a hole that has never been filled, mm-hmm. that I have never worked on. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, I know I'm damaging the people around me. Mm-hmm. I know I'm hurting the people around me. And mm-hmm. I swear to God, I want to do better for you. I do. But I just can't right now. Like, that pain that I feel is just deep.
Yeah.
It's a pain I never thought I would feel. So it's crazy for me.
It is. And what I really, there's a lot of messages in this book, but what I really want to touch on is what you say, that death. You know, I speak about my maternal figures, my concrete maternal figures, in depth in the introduction, because I had to face what I hadn't faced at all. Mm-hmm. They were older women, yes. They were my two great aunts, and they were my grandmother. It was my grandmother. They passed away all from cardiology issues, which is something that I looked into once they passed. But recanting those moments of cooking in the kitchen with my grandmother, talking to my Aunt Barbara, running on a beach with my Aunt Pam, I just soaked away in that vulnerability. I soaked away in that. Because even though they were sickly, even though they were older, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They had a large part in me as a woman, even as a mother. They were my maternal figure. And having to find things and figure things out on your own it's not because you have to, but it's the only way.
Yeah.
that's hard. I'm only 33.
Yeah.
You know? And yes, it's young, you know, I'm still young, but being a mom is nonstop. So that depth in that hole, I filled it with degrees. You know, I filled it with friends. I filled it in ways where I thought that I was filling a void.
Mm-hmm.
But what this book allowed me to do is actually cry and face those losses. And I never have done that before. And I even talk about their last words. You know, like I mentioned, Barbara's last words was, education is temporary. It was temporary, but your family's forever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my grandmother always told me, she said, I love you so much it hurts. That was unconditional love.
Yeah.
My Aunt Pam's last words was like, you're a wife now and a mother. Make sure that you basically protect your household. Those are things and remnants that I need now. Those are things that I need in this moment, and I can't just pick up a phone and call them and ask them for those moments. I've been figuring it out as I go. It doesn't make me less of a woman. It doesn't make me less of a wife. It doesn't make me less of a mother. But there's those moments where I'm like, my God, like, why aren't y'all here?
Girl, who you telling? So many times I want to pick up the phone, call my daddy, and just be like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
like,
no,
why
real.
did you leave me here?
No, yeah.
Like, these people around here fucking suck.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I ain't met a man like you yet. Like, God fucking damn. And I'm just like, they say, like, women desire or, like, in some way, one shape or form or another, marry their dads. Date their dads.
Yeah,
and I'm just
we
like... Baby, the only thing these men got in common with my daddy is the fact that they're older. Baby, there ain't shit else around here like my daddy. Like, I'm just like,
yeah,
I don't like y'all. Y'all are mean. Like, I be so many times just be like, I just want my fucking daddy. Like, fuck y'all.
Yeah.
I just want my goddamn daddy.
Yeah. You and I think I know with this book, I was able to face them. I was able to face the fact that I didn't just miss them. There's remnants of them that I have into myself now. You know, like my great aunt Pam, I call her the professional paternal figure. She was the one who taught me how to write a resume, and you know, you don't do nothing less than what than what you're told. Like, you run the room. She did that for me. My Aunt Barbara, classy. She was Barbara. She was a classy woman. She was very private, but she was a pillar in her community.
Yeah.
And then my grandma was just no nonsense.
Yeah.
But embellishing on that and just now being a mother and really seeing those little, like I call them gems that they poured into me, I was just like, okay, grandma would have done it that way.
Yeah.
Or, Pam would have said it that way. Or Barbara would have dressed that way. Those are little gems in my life that I'm so, so, so grateful of. And I was young, I took them for granted in some areas.
Like we always, like we all do. I mean,
I was young.
Because they passed in our 20s.
Yeah.
Because my dad passed when I was like 28. So I know they had, they passed in our 20s. It's not like, I mean, granted, we were old enough to know better, but also we were young enough to feel like we had more time.
Yeah, we did. And we didn't take them for granted. It's just that I feel, be biased, but when you're going. That's just me. I've had enough people pass away in my life to feel that they knew. And so, like, just different remnants, like me and my grandmother having our last conversation on the phone. I talk to my granny every day. I call her my Toots because her childhood name was Tootie. That was my girl. And the way she was talking to me was kind of like filling holes in my childhood. Like, just different questions I had.
Yeah. And
I'm just like, you ain't gonna leave me. She had a massive heart attack. I'm like, girl, you're gonna come out the hospital, several surgeries, but when they put her on life support, I still remember that day vividly. And we got to say goodbye. And I held on to her and whispered in her ear, like, don't leave. And Lamont was like, we gotta go. I'm like, no, we don't. No, we don't. She was warm to the touch, but I spiritually knew she was gone.
Yeah.
But just remembering holding on to her and whispering that in a woman who was gone with Jesus, that moment still trickles down. And even taking pictures with her and Melanie, I have those now. And she just loved Melanie, but those are pieces that we have to like really face.
Yeah.
Like the pottery I talked about, we got to glue it back together.
I actually watched a show on Netflix, Sweet Magnolias.
Okay, I heard it. Yeah.
What is her name? Heather Headley. Heather Headley's in the show. She's the black lady, the only black lady in the show, basically. But she was dating this guy. She knocked over like one of his vases accidentally, and she wanted to fix it. So basically, she was talking to these people in the neighborhood or in a community, and they were like, well, at our wedding, I think they were Jewish. They did the little stomp thing, and then they put it back together. And I forgot what it was called, but it was like a name, like like I don't know if it's like Japanese or something like that. But it's a name where they put it back together, and although all the pieces might not be perfect, it is now a beautiful masterpiece. Exactly. And oh boy, loved the gift. You know, he loved the idea. She, you know, it was a beautiful thing. But I was like, damn, that's like people. Like,
yes,
I see myself in that vase.
Yes. And I have had to piece myself back together. I don't get the chance to, and I've grieved hard. I mean, there's been times where Lamont, like, she taking too long in the shower, you know. I've grieved hard to the point where, okay, it was almost like a routine, you know, like cry in the morning, wipe your face off, go to work, you know, get to work, cry again. Like, it was a routine to where it's not healthy.
Yeah.
You know, but I had finances, I had children, I had a job, you know, so I had to really sit with myself. But these past 9 to 10 months that I've been able to heal and be more forceful and more willing with Franklin Freelance, it's been such a blessing, you know, because I was able to really sit with myself, and I like to call it like the pause in my life where I was able to heal. But like I said, I've never got to be a woman before.
Yeah.
You know, being a wife doesn't necessarily make you a woman. Having children doesn't make you a woman. You know, but who is Patricia Franklin? Who is she to herself?
Yeah.
And that's why I've been able to sit and not just write a book, but to really revel in who I am, but really be her.
Because I'm going to be honest with you, I thought about it today. And I was like, she is no longer a Todd.
No.
She's not Patricia Todd.
She is not.
She is Patricia Franklin. And yes. that is a whole new person.
Yes. Yes.
Like, Patricia Franklin is not who Patricia Todd was.
No.
Like, they are two completely different people.
Two totally different people. And even being a Franklin for almost 9 years now, I'm finding who Patricia is.
Yeah.
And it's not just a name, it's an identity.
Yeah.
And how do you do that? How do you find yourself? It's not about going on a hike. It's not about painting art. No, it's actually sitting with yourself and really facing
having
yourself.
Those hard ass conversations.
You have to face yourself.
It's not easy.
It's not easy because there's parts of me that I didn't realize were toxic traits. There's parts of me where I didn't realize where I'm just like, oh, I didn't know I made people feel like that. And you have to face her, but you gotta be ready to face what happens after that.
Yeah, that I'm coming to that conclusion that there are parts of me that, when I was in a bad space, like I did not realize until 33 that my 20s was a lot of hurt. It was a lot of. I was dealing with some things I probably didn't even understand properly. It was a lot of, I recently, cause I was like, damn, I really don't drink like that no more. And I know that I don't drink like that no more because I was dealing with this man who we'll call Harry Potter. I was dealing with him and we used to just drink. And it would lead to other stuff, of course. And I'm like, I know if I wasn't drinking, I probably wouldn't have been dealing with you. I feel like you kind of know that too.
That says a lot.
I kind of feel like you know if I wasn't drinking, I wouldn't have been dealing with you either. And every time I saw you, I was drinking. I realized I probably had an alcohol problem that nobody knew about.
No.
Because I was drinking. When I say I was drinking, I mean shots. I mean drinks. I mean, we're pouring 4 different types of alcohol and I want you to finish the fucking cup. Like, don't waste my alcohol. So, and it's just like, okay, I'm drinking this, baby. I'm drinking it and taking them down, drinking them back, throwing them back. And then it's like, okay, I black out. I still got to drive home. Baby, nobody knew I was drunk. Like, I would be drunk. Like, the majority of my 20s is like...
blackouts.
Yeah. It's like, baby, I was drinking a lot and nobody knew.
Yeah.
I was dealing with stuff that I probably wasn't processing properly. I was hurting people that I never had any intention of hurting. And I'm not excusing it. The alcohol, I'm not the alcohol doesn't excuse it, but you know, I'm like, goddamn, looking back on who I used to be, I was dealing with a lot.
Yeah. And that's what's so evident in mental health. People don't understand. There's a grief side of mental health, and then there's the other side of mental health. Because even me, you know, running a school and having a 9-to-5 brick and mortar job, to having 3 children, to also having my business, to also running a household, like I was just going. I was just going until things start happening at work, which bled into my household, and it was like a snowball trickle effect.
Yeah.
And I discuss that in the book, but I also talk about how ugly I was, how it was hurting my household. Where even if a child came up to me and asked for water, I was just irritated by it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because my baby asked me for water, it's because I never left it at the door. I never did that.
I hear that a lot.
I never left it at the door. And I will be honest, I do, and I have had a hard time compartmentalizing everything.
Yeah.
Work is work. Home is home. Da-da-da. It's hard to do that.
It is.
But you have to learn different ways of self-care to readjust yourself. I am not a perfect person. I will never sit here and say that I am. My life is not perfect. Yeah. But I will also say that there's different ways to kind of get out those funks. Let's call them funks.
I'm learning how to get out of my... That's actually what I call them. Yeah. Funks. Like, I'll talk to my homegirl and she be like, how you feeling? Baby, I'm in a funk.
But you could say that now,
I'm in a funk. Like, yeah. And in my 20s, I wasn't able to say that. I didn't know. Like, I would just be like, something don't feel right. I don't really know what it is, but I just don't feel right. Right. I have an attitude. I don't know why. And now I can acknowledge it. Like, I'm in a funk. Yeah. And now I can even say, I'm in a fucking seasonal depression. Like, baby, I know my seasons. Big. I know when I like, and it sucks. Like, I tell her, like, baby, I just want you to know I'm finna start dropping off. Like, you already know this is my time to drop off. And it's nothing towards you. It's just, I know I'm not the best person to be around. Yeah. And sometimes I don't want to fake the smile. I don't want to fake the laugh. I don't want to fake the good energy. I may love being around you, may love you down, but I'm in my seasonal depression and I just can't. Yeah. Like, granted, you invited me out. I enjoyed myself, but the minute I got back in that car, it was like, boom. Yeah. Depression and right back at you.
That's how it hits. It just hits. And it doesn't be like, I'm coming. No, it just hits you. Like, for instance, I know for a fact, I can't stand the month of June. As soon as June starts creeping up, I'm like, Lord Jesus, get me through it. Because it's my sister's death anniversary.
That's me. October through February.
Yes. And it's something that even if I try to avoid, it creeps up on me.
I be trying. I be like, oh no, I'm gonna have a good October this year. I'm gonna have a good October this year.
Keep avoiding it.
October come, and they be like, baby, you know you was born on your parents' anniversary, right? You think you having a good October.
Watch this.
Ain't no way you can avoid thinking about that, though. I'll be like, okay, okay. Then it's like Thanksgiving, Christmas,
pass by, right?
Yeah, New Year's. It's like, damn, all this shit. I had my daddy for it. I don't have him for it no more. And then it's like February comes. Fuck Valentine's Day, right? I mean, Valentine's Day too, but then it's my daddy's birthday. Ooh. So then it's just like, oh, okay. So y'all got me October through February. I'm down bad. Like, I do my best. I do my best to come up. I do my best to come out, show up, show out. But it's, you gonna have to catch me when you catch me. That's why I cancel my birthday plans so often. Like, that's really why I cancel them so often. Because I'm like, there's nothing really much to celebrate.
Celebrate you. Listen,
I try.
Listen, I'm a Cancer. I know I'm everything they say about us. I am a crybaby, but I will say my birthday is celebrated.
Oh no, I know.
It is celebrated.
Baby, ain't no question about it. I know.
No, it is not. If I have one day of the year, I love Mother's Day. But if I have one day of the year where no one could tell me nothing, honey, it's my birthday. And and after Alicia, I treasure life a little bit different. I saw life a little bit different. I wake up every day and say, thank you, Lord, for another day. And I do every single day. But celebrate you. You have so much to celebrate, though. And it doesn't have to be an outward celebration, honey. I don't care if you walk the beach by yourself.
Yeah.
I don't care if you do something to get your hair, your nails done and dolled up and stay in your room. You have a reason to celebrate. You look amazing, by the way.
Thank you, girl. I've been putting in the work. Okay.
Listen.
I'm putting in the work. I've been trying.
Celebrate that. There's so many things to celebrate. And that's why I sit with myself and be like, okay, what did I do today? What am I going to celebrate today? I'm going to celebrate the fact that I got 10 projects done out of the week this week. I'm going to celebrate the fact that one of my clients whose resume I was working on, child, she got that job. I'm going to celebrate a client who was struggling with their essay and they passed that class. You got to celebrate.
Yeah.
The small things.
The crazy thing about it is, I tell people all the time, you have to celebrate.
So you're not practicing what you preach?
I'm not.
Ooh.
I'm very hypocritical in that way. But I do believe, yes, you have to celebrate even the little things when it comes to you.
You do.
But when it comes to me, baby, I be like, oh, like leading up to our birthday, I be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that. Then months come and I be like,
never mind.
Y'all, I was just playing. I ain't doing nothing. I'm be at home, minding my business.
And that's okay. But that's okay though.
It is, but it's also, I know it's not. Like, I'm only doing it because I know I'm in a seasonal funk. I know I'm in and it was like growing up, I thought it was a blessing to have my birthday and my parents' anniversary. Right? Because now I'm the last holiday kid. They got the 4th of July kid. They got the Halloween kid. Now they got the anniversary kid. I'm the last holiday kid. Mm-hmm. Baby, take me off the calendar. I don't want it no more. It becomes hard for my birthday.
But I do understand that, as you mentioned, you're born on your parents' anniversary. But what I want you to do after reading this book, after we talked, is to really find ways that you could celebrate both. Because they are both to be celebrated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know how much you loved your father. I had the honorable pleasure to meet your father, have your father in my life. But I want you to really figure out what Bree wants to do for her birthday. Even if it is a friend wanting to take you out, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that friend is thinking of you.
Yeah.
And anybody who thinks of me in any regard, whether it's reposting my business, where it's saying, hey, Patty, how are you doing? Whether it's purchasing this gym, I will say that you took the time out of your day to think of me. That says a lot.
Yeah.
That says a lot. So do something for you this year.
I'm thinking about it. I do.
Yeah, you have time.
I'm thinking about maybe like an Airbnb. Like, I don't even have to do anything special. I think I feel like if I don't have at least one vacation a year, my mental health is fucked up.
At least you know that, though.
Yeah, and I do. And people think that's a joke, but I be like dead ass serious. Like, I don't understand how y'all don't take a vacation. Mm-hmm. Like, if I don't, I really do not feel well. Like, it's just something in my spirit that be like, girl, like, you are not the fuck okay. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And so, and I know it hits harder than ever October through February. I can acknowledge that. So during those months, I recluse. I may post on social media. Like, that's the thing. Like, sometimes I post a lot and I'm in a depression. Sometimes I post none at all and I'm in a depression. Like, it just depends on my depressive mood. But I know I want to be away. Like, 9 times out of 10, I just want to be by myself. But and I know that's a toxic trait.
No, it's not. That's a form of self-care. That is a form of self-care. Because what you're doing is you're boundarying yourself from your loved ones because you know that you're not in the right space or set of mind. That is a form of self-care. Self-care, Isolation is a positive form of self-care. It doesn't mean that you're recluse to the point where you don't want to hang with your girls and speak. No. We pop up and do welfare checks if we have to.
Yeah.
But it's just a form of saying, from these months, I'm not myself. I can't be who I want to be for you. I can't be who I want to be for myself. And I'm going to take a step back. That's a form of self-care. You're protecting yourself, but you're protecting those around you. Because the last thing you want to do is burn bridges, and you really don't mean to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I will be honest, for the most part,
Right.
even during those months, like if I'm going through it and you hit me up and you need me, I can put my, like, as long as you're not some person who just like annoys the fuck out of me on a regular, I can put my feelings to the side, which is why I can go out every now and then. I don't be wanting to. You really have to catch me. Like, you really have to damn near drag me, because if you give me the opportunity to be like, oh no, I'm not gonna make it, that's a wrap. Like, I'm taking it. If you give me the opportunity, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
So like when people be like, oh, you don't come out, I don't. But it's not you, it's me. I got social anxiety. Sometimes I don't like to be out with people like that.
People that know you know that.
And that's why they accept it.
Exactly. I know that. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't ever put you in a room or in a place, in a space of where I know you will not enjoy yourself. Because the point of getting you out is to enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
For us to enjoy each other.
And I mean, I enjoy myself when I go out 9 times out of 10, but I don't go out often. And I just, you know, I'm just like, oh, you know, if you give me the opportunity to stay home, I'm going to take it every time.
Yeah.
Every time. So, you know.
That's okay.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to come drag me. You got to let me know.
It depends how hard, though.
Yeah, you gotta let me know.
It's you. It depends.
Yeah, it depends. So back to your book. Was there a chapter that gutted you while writing it, and what was that process like?
Let me. We're gonna have to edit this out.
No, girl, you good.
Honestly, the chapter that gutted me the most was my final chapter, which was chapter 7. And it's Sis, You Cannot Pour From Me. Is it? Oh, child, let me think. You obsessed about something, you get tired of it. No. Chapter 7, You Are Doing the Best You Can. That chapter ripped me to shreds, because I know I'm doing the best I can. I have 3 healthy children. I'm running this business on my own. Everything I receive, I do by myself, independently, privately. And what really tore me with this chapter was really having to seek, like, there's nothing more you can do, Patricia. There's nothing more of you that you can offer. There's nothing more of you that you can give. What really got to me was the sister. And I start that chapter by discussing my sister first. That's where my sisterhood starts, as my sister.
Yeah.
Losing her, losing my identity, and trying to find my footing. But then I start naming the wonderful women who have, I'm not going to say filled that void, because Lord Jesus knows, at least He's going to get me.
Yeah.
But women who have found me in a sunken place. And these women are women who I've met by going to school, at jobs, at work. And my sorority sisters are the women that I met in my healing journey. And we meet by default because, okay, yes, great. We want to be in a sorority together. Yes. You know, we all have the same mindset of what we want to do. But do we get along outside of the sorority? How much of each other do we really bleed into each other? I talk to these women every day. Hey, Yada, hey, Kia, every day. And what my sorority sisters have done for me is met me in my mess. You know, they met me in my healing journey, where I may not respond as quickly as possible. I may, like you, have to isolate and recluse. I'm alive and I'm well. It's just that I'm still trying to find this person in this footing.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to remind myself, oh, child, you've been working on this project all day. But did you get up and go for a walk today? But did you get out the house? But did you eat today? You know, what did you do for you that really made you feel like you did something that was good for your mental health?
Yeah.
So that chapter, aside of the conclusion, which I really wanted to get everybody's attention, really had me be like, baby, ain't nothing else you can do. You're doing everything you're supposed to do.
Mm.
You're praying, you're there for your husband, you're nurturing your babies, you're guarding them, you're supporting many of people. And I appreciate my clients, my Franklin freelance writers, but take care of you. You're doing the best you can.
Yeah.
And I have to remind myself, honey, we can't just, like we said, we can't just
Pour
say
from
it.
empty cup.
To do it.
Yeah.
We have to. We're only one person. And I'm one person of 4 people.
Yeah.
Just one and 4 people. Yes.
What are some of the quiet forms of exhaustion we don't always name?
Oh, baby. Anxiety and stress is the #1 silent killer in African Americans.
And that's why I'm open and honest about my anxiety.
Anxiety and stress.
Because y'all not finna kill me.
We don't know our limits. As I mentioned, working a 9-to-5, running a school with leaders and directors, managing an office, while running a business, while having a household, while grieving. Can't forget my grief. And not really sitting down with myself and be like, you're not okay. And what I started to do was I started to take like once a month PTO days. Once a month, not to accrue everything I've been through in a week. And what happened was it took for me to really fall down on my face. My whole world had to collapse to where I had an ex-employee upset with the school. And then I had my son getting bullied at his school. While going back and forth with the district attorney about my sister's trial. After going through that of a whirlwind of emotion, child, it was Jesus that got me back off that floor. I had to like just cry in a corner and really be like, this is too much. So what parts of you do you start picking at? Your baby's getting bullied. That means your baby's hurting. Okay. Got that. You're overwhelmed at work, but now your employees are leaving because of this ex-employee. There ain't nothing you can do about that. But your household is suffering. But you know you're suffering because you're still grieving the loss of your sister. So what I had to do was I took a full step back. And after my sister's trial, which was actually last May, I had to make the decision to take a step back from that brick and mortar job and really start focusing on things that mattered. My babies are my world. And one thing I would hate to fail out is my motherhood. I would hate to fail as a mother. Franklin freelance, it's wonderful. It's something I created. But if I had to take a step back from that, I could tell my client, hey, I need a break.
Yeah.
A brick and mortar job, they come as they go. But when it comes to my children, oh, no.
Yeah.
I can't, that's an area that I would not ever want to fail in. So I chose them. And then I chose myself. Because I knew mothering and being a mother to my sister in death took a large toll on my motherhood. My daughter, Melanie, is the same age. She's the same age. She'll be 10 this year. And my sister's been gone for 10 years. Her whole lifetime, my sister's been gone. So I'm just like, I had to separate. I had a hard time separating them, but I'm like, this sweet, beautiful soul does not deserve to take on what someone else decided to do.
Yeah.
So let me pour into her, and she's the oldest. And so I make time for her to talk to her and how was your day and what do you like and stuff like that, because I never want her to feel that angst that I have.
Yeah.
And it's not even her fault. She came at a horrible time, but I call her my saving grace because she saved me.
Yeah. I remember.
Yeah.
What's one lie you feel like we've been sold about what it means to be strong?
Go. Keep moving.
Let me tell you something. I personally want to get rid of that strong, independent, or strong black woman trope.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Let me tell you something, right? So you might think I'm crazy, and y'all might think I'm crazy, and that's okay. I literally talk to ChatGPT.
As you've mentioned, yes.
I talked to it. And I was having a conversation with it, and I was like, based off what you know about me, because I never said I was black at the moment. So I was like, based off what you know about me, like, who do you think I am? Like, how would you describe me?
Right.
And it described me, and it was like, I think you're this, that, and the third type of black woman. And I was like, I said, but one thing you didn't say was a strong black woman. And they was like, yeah, that's not the trope we're going for. Like, that's not a story we want to be told.
Right.
Like, yes, you're strong, but that's not who you are or what you are.
Right.
It's what you have to be at times.
Yeah.
But you are not a strong black woman. You are a black woman who's had to be strong.
Yeah.
Or who has to be strong at times. But I don't identify you as that. I don't see you as that. And I say, baby, you better speak into me. Because I never want to be identified as somebody's strong black woman.
That statement is what has been at my demise. Because what I felt, as I mentioned, being around strong black women, pillar of women, women who are the movers and shakers and were able to raise kids on their own by default.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask. And I wasn't trying to be shady. Like, strong black women, though, were they single mothers type of thing?
Single mothers.
And I'm not saying that's not what I want to be.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be a strong black woman. Like,
no.
As a single mother, you really have no choice to be a strong black woman.
You don't. And
if you black. If you're not black, you ain't got the black woman part. But
just woman in general.
Yeah.
Woman in general.
And I'm just like, baby, I need you to rest.
Yes.
Like, I don't see how y'all do it.
Yes.
I don't want to be nobody's strong woman. I don't want to be I don't want to be no man's strong black woman. Like, I don't want to be your strong black wife. Like, when you look at me, I want you to be like, my baby, she can't do shit without me. And you're right, I can't.
It's incriminating for me because that is one of my traits that Lamont loved. I'm a very ambitious woman. I'm hyper independent, but I still allow my husband to be the head of the household. He is who I call the brain of the operations when I talk about the anatomy of the household. He's the brain. He's a decision maker. When it comes to the kids, it's cohesive. But when it comes to like the finances and breakdown, I'm a woman of God, child. The Bible says the man leads. And some women have a hard time doing that. Now being an entrepreneur, it's like, how do you handle the entrepreneurship and also being a wife and collaborative with your husband?
Because you're a boss when it comes to the entrepreneur, and now you're not when it comes to the household.
Exactly. And so what happens is you have to be able to divert from that. Franklin freelance is from this hour to this hour. Mommy is after 2:30, I'm in mommy mode, child. Because from there, I'm a mommy throughout until 10, 11 o'clock at night. So the strong black womanism, it got to go.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Because people really feel like a strong black woman, and there's different definitions of this.
Yeah.
It's someone who is going. Like she came home from work and she got the kids this and she did this.
Because you're not finna stress me out. You're not about to, yes.
And then it's like, what I had to learn, and my mother-in-law told me this when I became a new mom, she was like, sweetie, like, you can't do everything in one day. It doesn't make you less than if you go to bed without the dishes done. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So I had to, as a new wife, when I had Melanie, I thought I was supposed to do everything my husband needed and wanted. Yes, of course you are. But I was breaking my back while going to school and not really having a balance. I had to find a balance.
Yeah.
So now guess what? The children who are the limbs in the anatomy of the household, you're going to pick the blood cells off the floor. You're going to make sure you do that. But me as a woman, wife, and mother in the heart of the household, honey, I'm going to go to the kitchen and do what I have to do. But once these babies are asleep, I'm chilling and relaxing. Yeah. I'm taking time for me. And that doesn't happen every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely not a fan of the strong black woman trope. No. If you are, more power to you, but that's just...
And God bless you, sis.
Yeah.
For being able to be that.
That's not a life I see for myself, unfortunately. I just can't do it. I remember this guy I was dealing with... He don't even need to have a name. I was dealing with this guy, and he told me, like, one time, he was like, in so many words, basically, I hurt you because I knew you could handle it. I knew you were strong. Baby, don't you ever strong black woman me.
What is the depths of strength, though?
Don't you ever strong black woman me. I said, oh no. And that's why that situation happened the way it happened, because you felt like I was strong. I had to show you I wasn't that strong.
Yeah, but there's a lot of defining factors with strength.
Yeah,
Because
but
I thought I was strong. Not to interject with you.
Nah, you're
You know,
good.
trying to fight my way through with living a normal life and dealing with real life things. And what I really have to sit with myself and say, Bree, is who in the world has gone through such a traumatic event, such as a murder, whose life continues to flow?
yeah.
But my parents were unable to really wrap their mind over losing a child. So I advocated for my sister, but who's able to continue on that advocacy for 9 years while raising their own family, while trying to find herself, while trying not to lose herself, while trying to still maintain her household and make sure that my husband, who's my co-victim, is okay, and still trying to embellish in my accolades. I didn't do that though.
Yeah.
And that's why the sentiment of sis, you need some rest is saying, hey, stop. You just opened up a hair salon. Sit in that moment, sis.
Yeah.
You have a new business. Sit in that, revel in that moment, embellish that moment.
Yeah.
And I told myself and I promised myself, self to self, that once this book drops, I'm going to revel in that moment.
As you should.
First time in my life.
As you should.
And sit in it. Because I have not basked in my own ambiance. And that's a humbling thing, but I've never done it.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy.
As you should.
It sounds crazy.
As you should.
I've never done it.
I be thinking about, like, maybe for NDC, our 2-year anniversary is coming up. I be thinking we should have birthday.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I feel like we should have a birthday party. You know? I feel like we should have a whole little birthday party. You know, I'm saying you should definitely celebrate yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've never done that. It sounds odd, but I've never done that.
It does feel weird to throw yourself a party for your own accomplishment.
But it doesn't.
To me.
Some people may.
Yeah, because I'm like, I'm throwing myself a party to celebrate myself. Like, this feels like something I should have an assistant do for me. I feel like it's something I should have an assistant do for me.
Check on your birthday. I'm just saying. Yeah, I feel like, and let me put her here, because child, she's a part of this.
Yes.
But I really feel like what needs to be said is when I finished this book, when she was done, and I'm gonna call it a she because I'm a she, I'm a her, I'm a ma'am.
Okay.
Listen, I said, you know what, Lord, before I press submit and complete on this, I cried and I prayed. I don't do anything for fame or fortune.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the point of it. You know, I really told God, I said, allow for the message to get through to women. My conclusion defies that. I want women to really understand. I see you. I feel you. I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the motherless mothers. Let's talk about the women who are at their wits' end, but they don't have a choice. Let's talk about the women who got so down on themselves that they wanted to commit suicide.
Mm-hmm.
I don't call it suicide in my book. I call it a sin, because it is.
It
But
is.
we've all been there before.
Yes, we have.
But let's talk about that. Let's talk about having to come through that door. And although you know that your children's hugs are medicine, you are very almost stimulated from the day.
Yeah.
But let's face that and let's talk about it, because I don't want you to think that you're alone. And there's a lot of women who go through things, but it's not to, I'm gonna vindicate y'all too, because I want y'all to create the forms of self-care and take a break. But I want to talk about the things that women are too afraid to talk. You know, talk about, like, dang, you know, I had to pop my kid for the first time. I had mom guilt. Or, you know, I wasn't feeling like myself today, and I bathed my kids, I kissed them, and I cried in the room. Baby, you're human.
Yeah.
It's you against the world.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been there before.
Yeah.
And I survived it.
Okay, so I got a few more questions for you, a few more topics. So I want to sit in this part a little bit longer, because this book isn't just about burnout.
No.
It's about motherhood, caretaking, and being the emotional backbone in so many spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You use the phrase, the heart of the household.
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
There's a chapter called The Anatomy of the Body. And I'm not saying everybody has to be a doctor, but the anatomy of the body is we have the brain, which allows us to think. If we go brain dead, then our bodies are lifeless. I call the husband the brain of the operation. I call the children the limbs. They move and they shake. But you can't live without them. And so I call it the heart of the household because women make the household go in their own stance.
Feel like a home?
Yeah.
Got you.
We're the beats.
Yeah.
You can't live without your heart. Your heart stop or you have a heart attack, it's over.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take away from the mother's absence if she goes out for a girls' night or a trip or goes to work. It just takes to say, you make that home. If I come home with an attitude, the kids are going to go off of that attitude. My husband's going to go off of that attitude. But when I create the ambiance of my home in a light, in a positive way, I see that mirror image with my family. So the heart of the household is the core of the household. And the heart of the household may differ for any woman. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there's a single mama. She's still the heart of the household. That doesn't take away from her. But it's just the way your stomp, your stance is the beat. You make the beat. You make the ambiance. If the house is cluttered, everybody else is in disarray. If the house is clean, everybody's in a good mood. But we as the hearts, we beat and we make that household go round.
I love that. That was interesting. So do you feel like motherhood has been linked too closely with sacrifice?
Absolutely. We as mothers, oh Lord Jesus. And I name my babies as they are because with every child, every pregnancy was different. Melanie being the oldest child, coming into a very traumatic time in my life, getting and having preeclampsia, which is actually very prominent in the African American community, which I was unaware of when I had it. I was so big on stretch marks. Like I was just
I remember
of stretch marks. And so although I had them and got them in high school, I was fearful of getting more of them, especially on my stomach, because I was a crop top queen. Okay. Yeah. And so what I had to understand was there's a baby inside there.
And those are your mom.
Those are my stripes, you know? And when I blew up with my son and actually had gestational high blood pressure with Jackson, which is my only son and my middle child, my belly turned into what I was afraid of. And some people say like, oh, it looks like an oatmeal tummy, just societal things. And I had to learn to love myself again. My husband was like, your body is magic. He never swayed against it. He never made me feel less than. But what I had to learn was how to carry those stripes because I'm a C-section mom. All my babies are cesarean.
I think my mom is too.
Yes. And a cesarean definitely, it's a whole surgery. And childbirth alone is it's
traumatic.
Very traumatic, life-threatening.
Yeah.
But I had to learn how to love myself after that. So I'm oiling my body and I'm hoping everything's okay. Meanwhile, I'm just stretching and stretching and stretching and stretching. But what I had to learn is now as a wife and a mother, not all that got to be seen no more anyway. I got the man. I got the man. But what I want to teach my daughters is you're beautiful no matter what.
Yeah.
This is something that's natural. You can't help a stretch mark to not come, you know, but I really wanted that to be inflicted with my daughters, to have self-esteem and have confidence. So when and if they get there, it's like, baby, it's a part of the game.
Yeah.
It happens.
Okay, so speaking of your daughters,
yes,
we're gonna bring it to your concrete
maternal figures.
There we go.
Ma'am.
I want to ask you, what did rest look like for them? And how has that shaped you? How has that shaped you and what you believe you deserve as far as rest is?
My Aunt Pam, she's my great aunt. She actually was the first to leave me. She passed away in January 2017 from a rare heart disease. She was an athlete. And she had her dogs and she had her 9-to-5 job. She was a counselor. And the way she rested was, funny enough, she actually went to the gym. That was her some form of self-care, but that was also the way she rested because she was able to kind of like...
That was her mental break. Yeah, I get it. I didn't understand it at first, but I get it more
because
now.
It's therapy. Some people go to the gym for therapy. Yes, it makes you feel good, but then she would call it the spa. She wouldn't even call it the gym. She called it the spa. And for a long time, I'm like, babe, you're not going to the spa. You're going to the gym. But it was her way.
Whatever works for you, man.
Yeah. And I was like, okay. But when she came back home, because I lived with her for a little while, she was like rejuvenated.
Yeah.
And taking that eucalyptus shower or bath or whatever, she felt rejuvenated. And then my great aunt Barbara, oh Lord Jesus, Barbara, she loved to put her curlers in while watching Jeopardy in her moo. And that was her way of resting. Or like sometimes after church, she would just stay home. And then my grandmother, my toots, she used to rest about like literally sitting and reading her Bible. And for me, I put the babies to bed. I may or not even put nothing on. I like to sit in silence. I did not know how loud silence was until I really sat back. Silence. Silence. And that was my form of self-care. And it wasn't to the detriment of myself where I'm like, oh, shoot, here comes the memory.
Yeah.
No. I'm talking like silence. Maybe a window's open. I'm listening to outside, but just be able to breathe my own air, sit with myself, and really just relax.
Yeah.
And that's how I found
that.
And it's so simple.
Yeah.
It's so simple.
So let me ask you, how do we start the conversation with partners or children about needing more support without guilt or fear?
What you have to do is first find your form of self-care. So when I grew up, my mom had something, and she was a single mother, and she was raising babies on her own. And this is the internal village. So the internal village was me. I'm the oldest. So I used to help my mom with the little ones. And so what I had learned was creating forms of boundaries for my children. Creating forms of boundaries with my children allow for me to actually be able to find self-care for me. The way my concrete maternal figures and my mom, how they rested, my mom would rest when everybody was asleep. That's the only time she could get rest, you know? And so she would just go in her room. She did whatever she wanted to. I didn't know what she was doing, but her door was closed. And I grew up in a respective household. The door is closed. You don't knock. You don't go in there. Mama's done. And so what it shaped me to do was set boundaries with my family. And by setting those boundaries and creating what I call the evening routine with my kids, I tag my partner and my husband, and I just let them know, hey, babe, by the way, I have different timers set, and I talk about my timers. They're annoying to him. But by creating these timers, every timer has, and it's every hour, by the way. So 7 o'clock is dinner time. 8 o'clock, we getting out the tub, we're reading books. And by 8:30, we're in bed. By 9 o'clock, it's a wrap. Everybody but me to be in the bed. And so I found myself being able to have more rest by creating those boundaries and setting those timers with a good evening routine, and then just letting Lamont know what I switched up, what I put in tow, and then how he can bridge in when he's home at night.
Yeah. Okay. So let me ask you, how can rest become a family value and not just a solo act?
Children are successful when they have routines. That's something that my mom taught me. The reason why she was able to be deemed so successful with us was because she created routines. And so by creating routines with the Franklin trio, I was able to, they know, you know what I'm saying? When we come home from school, we're going to take off our backpacks, we're going to change our clothes, or we may bathe, and we are going to go ahead and talk about our days and do our homework. After that, we're going to have dinner. So creating those routines, my babies know what's coming next. I'm actually at a great time in their lives where they're 3, 5, and 9, and they kind of have a set routine to know what mommy's going to ask for next. The beauty in it is when Lamont is home that I have an alleviation. Not all the time, but it's great when it happens. And setting those routines and not wavering from my routines has helped me become successful.
I've learned that a routine is what you need.
Oh, absolutely.
I've learned, it took me 33 years to learn that a routine is what A routine is what you need. So, I've been consistent in the gym, I want to say, for like 4 years, right?
And you look amazing.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So much. So I've been consistent in the gym for 4 years. I feel like I'm just now at a point where I found a nice little routine.
Good.
Right. So, I usually work out at 9, but Christy, I've been working out a little earlier lately. And it took me a while it took me like three weeks to kind of like figure that out.
Right.
So I'm just like, because I used to go at 9, now I got to work at 9 or 10, and I wouldn't be at the gym at 9.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to figure it out. So I've had to like say, fuck it. I just go to the gym at 7 now. Like almost every morning. And it sucks because I don't get to work out with my trainer because that nigga tired.
Yeah.
That nigga go home after his 6 a.m. class. He goes home. So it's like, I'm kind of on my own now. But it works for now. Yeah. Like I have to get up earlier, but that's fine. Because once that's done, I can kind of, if I have to go to work, I still have that time. If I don't, then, I have that time. But then also, I now included a second workout. So like after my first workout, I give myself about at minimum 4 hours. Mm-hmm. I try maximum 2 because baby, I really don't be wanting to do it. Mm-hmm. So I got to get it done as fast as I can get it done.
Right.
So I do it, and then I'm just like, all right, I feel like I did some stuff. Mm-hmm. Like in between that time, I'm working on my podcast. If I'm not at work, I'm doing stuff that I have to do, and I'm just like, this feels so much more productive than when I was just living life on a day to day.
Right.
Like I didn't know schedules was it.
It definitely is. But I will say with children, anytime you create a routine, you need to talk them through the routine. Because what you're doing is you're changing what they know. And you can't be reactive when a child doesn't understand why this is happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not fair to them. So like, for instance, if I'm having to change a routine, like for instance, if I go back to a brick and mortar, like everything's going to change because mommy's doing something new. Yeah. And I want them to understand that first and foremost, this is happening. And I talk to my kids. Ladies, talk to your babies. They're little people. They need to understand and know. I think that's
a lot of things that people don't do. Like
the
kids is basically just little adults.
Yeah, they are. They ask a lot of questions, but I feel like it's fair for them. And what I'm doing is I'm building a communicative bond with them. Mm-hmm. Like I want them to know. I call it my car chronicles. But I'll be like, listen. Mommy's tired today. What that mean? Because as soon as I get out that car and run to the gate, like they always do, and we get inside, child, that conversation never happens. But when it comes to the routines, we gonna get this right. And I give them a couple weeks to acclimate. That's another thing. You have to give them time to acclimate. They're not off the bat just gonna do what you say because you ask them. No, we don't. We're adults. So just give them that time.
Yeah. Okay, so now let's make it real for the folks listening and the folks watching. Okay, because I know some people are thinking, that sounds good, but how do I actually do it? Mm-hmm. What are your non-negotiables now when it comes to rest?
Listen, after 9 p.m. in the Franklin household, we leave mommy alone. When I'm bathing, when I'm in the restroom, that's mommy. Mm-hmm. I had to set those boundaries because what these babies done and do is they bypass the dad. You don't see that 230-pound man sitting on that couch? You came all the way upstairs to ask me for something? Oh, no. So I had to create that on my own first for them to respect what I'm saying. And so after 9 p.m., if I have a straggler, go back upstairs. After 9 p.m., if I have anything, I don't care what I want to do, whether it be washing the dishes I can get to, clean up the house, or just being in my own ambiance, we don't bother mommy because mommy needs to rest. I always tell my kids I'm one person and I'm human. Yeah. I cry like you cry. I go to the bathroom like you go to the bathroom. I need time. In order for me to be a better mommy, I need to rest. I don't get to sleep if you don't sleep. That's the only way it works.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think we see our parents as human for a very long time.
No, I thought my parents were gods.
I didn't think my parents were gods.
I did. I thought that they just did things and they made it happen.
I didn't think they were guys.
I
I just thought they was, I mean, I never
thought they were great.
Okay, so I was like one of the people who I didn't see y'all as young. I didn't see you as ever being my age.
Interesting.
Like, I'm not saying you popped out your mama as big and old as you are now, but I never seen you my age. I can't imagine who you were.
Right.
Like, as a person, I can get some of the stories that my daddy chose to tell. He wasn't 100% proud of his past, and I get it. I'm not 100% proud of mine.
And that's big. That's big for your dad to tell you that, though.
Yeah, he's not 100% proud of his past.
Yeah.
Did he still tell us stuff that he wasn't proud of? Yeah, because, I want you to not do it.
Amen.
Now, did we each do it? We did.
Absolutely. But the thing is,
but we knew better.
But we had to do it. And then you get that side eye, or then you get that little shrug, like,
but we knew better. But it was just like one of them things, like, I've learned, especially as I've gotten older, that I've had to learn to give people grace.
Amen. I
have to learn to give people grace.
Yes.
Like
including yourself. Yourself.
That's the hardest one. That's one of the hardest ones.
Always.
But I remember right before my dad passed, I had found out some information about some stuff, and it shook my world. Shook my world to the core. And I said, baby, the way I would never fuck with you, if you was here to this day and I found this out, baby, I would feel so different about you.
Right.
Like, but as I get older and I look back on my life and my time, I'm like, baby, you done did some shit.
Yeah.
You was nobody's perfect angel. You done did some shit.
I hope
you just don't have no kids.
Yeah.
That you just don't have no kids. Is looking at you like, girl, you really did some shit. And it's just like, we all have, the way I seen it is, we all have chapters of our stories that we don't read aloud.
We don't.
So,
and they're not meant to be out loud.
Yeah. So I have chapters of my story that's not meant to be read aloud. And this person had chapters of their story that wasn't meant to be read aloud. It just was slipped upon. The information just it wasn't intended to be, but it was.
It happened that way.
Yeah, and in the moment, I said, "Oh, baby, fuck you," because what was you doing?
That's strong.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
strong.
and it was, and I will say up until probably 33, 32, I was like, "Oh yeah, I would never like to this day like fuck you in death, like fuck you," but I had to really sit back and be like, that's that person's life.
Yeah.
That person was probably doing the best they could with what they had.
Right.
And who am I to judge?
Yeah.
Because if it was not for that person doing whatever it is they felt like they had to do, I probably wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Now, some days I feel like that's a negative and I shouldn't be here anyway. But we're not going to go into that. Because
okay. I was going to ask the posing question to you.
What was the posing question?
Why do you feel that way?
When I'm in a depression, some days I just feel like I don't need to be here. Like, life is just too hard. Like, when I'm in a depression, that's usually what it is. Like, life is just too hard. I wasn't, and it's not even, I joke a lot that, we wasn't put on this earth to just pay bills and die. And we weren't.
No, because we're not.
We weren't. I wasn't put on this earth to work 40 hours and only have enough to sustain. Yeah, to survive. Yeah. That's not, and that depresses me. That eats at me. Right. And it's not even like I could look at people like Beyonce or look at people like Jay-Z and be like, damn, y'all have millions. And I'm over here just trying to fucking survive. Right. Like, I don't even judge off that. Like, I'm glad you got what you got. Right. More praise to you. Yeah. I'm glad you got what you got. But that don't do nothing for me.
We're living in a very trivial time though too, because we as millennials, like, you got the baby boomers who are kind of semi-retired, which are my greats, and then you have the next generation, which would be our parents, but everybody's in survival mode at some extent. Yeah. In some extent, because you can't really survive.
And that's the thing. Like, that's the depressive part about it for me, because I don't want to survive. I want to thrive.
Right.
Like, I want to just be. I want to be comfortable. That's it. I just want to be comfortable. I don't want to be rich. I don't want to be. I mean, don't get me wrong.
It's comfort and stability.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I would love to have millions, but I just want to be stable.
Yeah.
I just want to be like, I have a house that I can go home to, and I don't have to deal with anybody when I don't want to. I want to be like, baby, my car, the tire went out and I have the money to fix it. Like, I don't have to worry about if I'm going to finance it, if I'm going to charge it, how the hell I'm going to pay for it.
Right.
If I'm going to have to leave this bitch and borrow somebody's car till I can get the money to pay for. Like, I just want to be comfortable. Mm-hmm. I want, in a case of an emergency, girl, I got it.
Right. Right.
Like, that's all I want out of my life. I just want to be comfortable.
We all do.
So, woo, yeah.
I'm glad you like
it. You know, I try sometimes. I try.
I'm glad you let it out.
What are some small ways women can start protecting their peace even in busy households?
You have to really gauge your household. Everybody's household is different. You know, for me, setting those timers and creating those boundaries and really finding my footing with what works for me, that may not work for the next woman. You know what I'm saying? Maybe her babies are too small. Maybe she's alone. Maybe she's not unable to do that. But you have to gauge your household.
Yeah.
For instance, I tell my kids, and I stand on that, I'm your mom, not your maid. And my biggest defeat was, gosh, dang, these kids don't need no more toys. And once I realized I had stubbed my toe a couple times to where I'm like, nah, y'all need to pick this up. That's a very small thing, but it becomes magnitudinal. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? To walk inside the door to see no toys on the ground or them aloof or put away. I will also say being vulnerable with your partner, being vulnerable with your internal village. Those people who live with you know you best. They know your moves, your makes, your motives, if they do. But I will say that you gotta lean in. You got to learn how to lean in, and you got to learn how to take a step back. I had a problem doing that. I had a problem because I felt like I had to be everybody for everyone in and outside my home. Because that's how I was made. That's what I saw. Yeah. I saw these women, these single mothers by default. And my dad is
who had to be strong.
Who had to be strong. Yeah. And my dad is in my life. My dad has always been in my life, but my parents never lived together. And so what I had to learn was, Patricia, that's not your life. You know, and yes, you and your husband work opposite shifts, but when that man is there, you utilize him. You tell him, hey, I had a horrible day today. I really need a moment to myself. I had to find the courage to tell my husband I needed to stay up late because I got something coming out. Or I need to stay up late because I had a horrible day and I really need a moment to myself. I had to find the courage, even with my husband. But I had to be vulnerable. And so what I'm telling you, sis, is to find ways to gauge your household and learn to do what's best for you. You know, maybe it's you getting off of work early, having that baby stay to 6 o'clock at the daycare. Maybe it's you sitting in a car. I don't know why people don't think that's a luxury. Sitting in the car before you walk in your household.
Because, baby, I do it. Oh, my goodness. I don't care
if you just breathing your own air.
Baby, when that depression hit bad.
Car chronicles matter.
That car is my best friend.
Listen. And you just lock your doors.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness, yes. Doors. I learned my lesson. Go ahead, lock them doors.
Lock your doors, but take a moment to really sit, listen to music, chew gum, eat food you don't want to share with your family. I don't care what it is.
Just scroll Instagram. Yes. It's just like, I cannot. I'm by myself. Like, that's it. Like, and it's only me and my mom in the house. And sometimes I just be like, I'm going to my car. Like, I just can't do it. I just be by myself.
But you need the separation.
Yeah, and honestly, she not even here half the time.
Yeah. And
I just be like, I need to be in my car. Like, I just can't be around people right now. I just need to be in my car. Don't let somebody be here, though. And I'm in a depression. Don't let somebody be here. Baby, I will sit in my car. I don't care how long. Until you leave, because I just don't want to talk to you. But the car I don't even want to say hi. Yeah. I'm sorry. Like, it's nothing against you. I'm just in a depression. I don't want to say hi. Yeah. I want to just be able to go and just be and not have to talk to you. Right. No tea, no shade, nothing against you. Yeah, people think I'm my brother's bitchy sister.
Well,
Yeah,
that's a horrible nickname.
they said your sister isn't. They thought their sister was mean. They thought I didn't talk to people. And that's okay. You're right.
You are you're
I'm
very
selective.
yeah, but you're very misunderstood. You're very misunderstood. I'm misunderstood. I mean, a lot of us are misunderstood. But I feel like if you're well in yourself and your identity, then you know how to move accordingly to what happened. Like for instance, like you saying you coming home and you were unaware there was company. Granted, this is a shared space, it's your home, but at least you know, like, okay, I'ma just wave and go to my room. Even me, even if it's me just texting my husband before I even walk in the house, I had a bad day. Cool. Get the trio. Mommy need a date or whatever. Let me go upstairs. Let me take a hot bath and let me figure my life and come back a whole person.
So you include journaling prompts in the book? You don't? Oh, okay. I thought that would have been. I thought you did.
I didn't. I wanted to, but I wanted to be something where people can go back to now. I have something else in the making, but it's not incorporated with that.
My cousin gave me one. I think it's like a self-help book. I don't know. I haven't really opened it, but I haven't really opened it because I feel like it's gonna open things in me.
But you know what I'm realizing, because I like to write. I have a whole business of writing. I feel like people will journal, people will write, but people will shut the book on. I want this to be a recant. I want this to be something where you read it once or you bleed through the chapters and you go back to it. I think with journaling, in my bias, sometimes we're afraid to go back and look at it. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like I got that off my chest, but I'm no longer there no more.
And I don't,
I don't want that. I want it to be something to where, you know what Patricia said or what she said or what worked in her household, that worked for me. Let me see what else she did. I want it to be something where you revert. That's why it's called a guidance. I also, a lot of the lessons that I learned as a woman, wife, and mother, I had to do on my own. I had to figure it out. A lot of it was because my maternal figures are deceased. My mother's still raising children, but for the most part, I took those gems with me and I said, let me defy what it means to be a mother for the first time. Let me defy what it means to be all these different types of moms. And I name it humorously what type of moms. I also wanted to recant what it means to be on your own, you know? And that was the core of this book, being a mother on my own and figuring out a lot by myself. But I wanted it to be where a woman could be guided as a new mother, as a new wife, as a woman, her own right, to where you could go back to it. That's why I did not do the journaling part. Yes, because I'm a journal girl, and what I'll do is, child, I found journals from 2018 the other day, but I never went back to it.
I was saying, did you go back and read them?
I knew, because I bled my heart out, and I wanted this to be a recant, and I wanted this to be a go-to.
So I used to, when I was dealing with this guy, I don't even have a name for him. He doesn't need a name because I ain't got no exes anyway. So I was dealing with this guy, and I remember he used to I used to journal. Like I used to write because I really could not express my feelings any other way.
That's a good thing.
But like I would go back and read it, and I'd be like, damn, you really put me through this. And so I'm just like, I looked back on it. And I'd be like, damn, like, I really felt this way. Like, you really had me feeling this way. Because it wasn't something I, like, sent to him. It was just stuff I wrote. I just wrote it down.
Yeah.
And I wrote it, like, to him, dated it, and just never sent it. But I'd be like, nah, you really had me feeling this way.
People
That's
write
crazy.
things and then they burn them, too.
I thought about that, too.
Yeah, no. I wanted it to be a guidance book. I wanted it to be something that's where women saw growth in the area and they could go back and be like, dang, I was tripping, or dang, I had that guilt. That's why journaling is not involved.
Okay.
But
So
granted, please, once you purchase it, write your own notes, write your own remnants of things because it's yours. You purchased it, yes.
okay, so I'm gonna be honest, we only got a couple more questions for you. We're gonna let you go soon. How do you personally come back to yourself when you feel like life is trying to pull you in every direction?
I talk to God. I talk to my sister circle. Now, when I say sister circle, These are not women that I went out one night and had a good time with and we follow each other on Instagram. Oh no. These are women who have cried with me, sat with me, been through different journeys of my life. And I met them at different parts of my life. Now, I had to let them in.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard because it took me years to call my best friend my best friend. I take sisterhood and friendships very, very, very seriously. And although I'm not, and Issa Rae has mentioned to this, I'm not the everyday friend. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the everyday friend. I'm not the woman that you can constantly have to talk to every single day. But I love you and I'm there for you.
Whenever
and
you need me.
Exactly. And when you need me, I'm there. Now, I will say, I will duck off for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Because I personally am going through my own things. I have an external family that I deal with, you know? And I want to be intentional with whatever my sister needs. And it's not blood related women. These are women who have helped me through my grieving journey with my children, who helped me with my kids, and also have been to my home. You know, like these are women that I, to the depths of my soul, I'm taking with me. So that's another part of it. I need women in my life that I can bleed into, to talk to pour in back into me. And my husband can take so much. He's a man. But I know he has my back. But also talking to my husband, God, and my sister.
Love that. I will say I love how I've told you this, for years. I love that you are anchored in God.
Yes.
That's one thing that I feel like has never swayed from you.
No. And I'm a girl. I'm a Baptist girl.
And that's one thing. I joke about going to hell. I joke and say, baby, God had already confirmed I was going to hell. No. I was not one of his chosen few. No. I joke about that. But I definitely, it's definitely something I wish I had. Mm-hmm. Like I wish I could build that. And I know people, I know people are always like, well, just read the Bible. But it's like, I read it. I started, I think it was like, what is the New Testament? Matthew. I started with the New Testament and I, went from there a chapter a day. And it's just like, I love people who believe in this. I'm not saying you shouldn't believe in it. I love people who have faith in this. They say all you need is the faith of a mustard seed, and I just feel like my faith needs to be growing. I feel like I shouldn't mustard seeded my whole life, And I'm just like, because reading it, I feel like there were parts where it was just like, those who it is not for will not understand. And I said, well, baby, that's probably why I can't understand it. It must not be for me.
You have to meet God where you're at. Because even though I'm deeply rooted in my faith, child, I'm still a human being.
And I think that's my problem. I don't be wanting to meet God where I'm at. I be wanting to meet you when I'm out of where I'm at, because where I was at was down low dirt.
Right.
Like, I want you to, and although I'm like, and I tell ChatGPT, like, this is how much I talk to it. I be like, there are things I've come out of and places I've been in that only God could have brought me from.
Amen. Me too.
But I still be like, when I'm in the low and I'm in the dirt and I'm not who I feel like I should be, and I'm not walking in what is a way that you would feel deemed right. I don't want to be bothered with you, but
you shy away.
Yeah. I just feel like, this ain't the time. Obviously, not necessarily you don't have your hand on my life, but obviously I'm not living right, and I don't want to, I feel hypocritical trying to pray to you and ask not only for forgiveness but for healing, for help, for guidance, and I'm sitting over here in the pits.
Yeah, but that's where he meets you, in the pits. I got, in my own grief, I can't speak for yours, it may differ, I got tired of feeling that low. I got sick of it. Because what happened was, I got that low, it took about 3 to 5 business days for me to get back on my feet. And even though I'm moving in the motion of it, not recently, because this has been a healing journey, but even when I get back to that, child, it takes forever for me to get back.
Yeah.
I don't have time, because I have children, to take that time to get back.
Yeah.
And so I have vowed to myself, and I do talk about mental breakdowns in this book, we're not getting that low no more. When we feel some way, when we do it, just catch it and pray and talk about it right then and there. It's hard. I do waver too, but I feel like once you catch it and know it, sit with it in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just sit with it.
Yeah. I be trying. I try to pray every morning. I do thank God for waking me up in the morning.
Amen.
At minimum. That's the one
And
thing I
that's a
try to
start.
do before I open my eyes. Before I and I be trying to pray, but then I be falling asleep. And that's that. I feel bad. I be like, God dang.
No.
Or I get distracted. And I be like, God dang, my bad. I was talking to God. Hold on now. Like, how I get, how, you know?
Right.
And I just feel like that's not, you know, real. I don't want to say Christian, but it's not. It's just like, I don't know. Maybe like I talk myself out of faith.
Yeah.
And maybe I talk myself out of faith, but I do really feel like I do have the faith of a mustard seed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one thing I can hold on to. Like, because I think it was Barbara who taught me that in Bible school. Like, the faith of a mustard seed is all you need.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to look it up. I think Barbara even told us like how small that mess was. So it was just like, sweet telling. So it was just like, this all I need. And I feel like I've had that same amount of faith.
Mm-hmm.
From the time I was in Barbara's Bible school, vacation Bible school, to now. And I just feel like it should have grown by now.
You got to let it.
Probably.
You got to let it.
It's probably me and my own. It is.
It's the me versus me, child.
It is. It's definitely just, I know you see me in my bad. I know you see me at my worst. I know you've seen every sin I done that people don't even know about. And I still be like, I kind of don't want you to know that though. I know you know, but I'm not proud of it. So can we take some time? Can you forget it? I've asked for forgiveness. Don't get me wrong. I've asked for forgiveness, but can you forget it? Like, am I truly forgiven?
You are.
It's just one of the things, you know, I'll be like, I don't know. I'll be struggling.
And that's for you to face that, to say that you've been struggling, that's big. Because some people don't realize that they're struggling. Even as moms, like, we don't realize that we're struggling until we have a mental breakdown. And we have to find tangible ways to prevent them when they happen.
Okay, so wrapping up, what does rest look like for you today? Not ideally, but actually.
After this wonderful interview, I am going to take a wonderful bubble bath, and I'm going to make sure that I am well rested for Mother's Day weekend. That's my sentiment of rest for today. And the duration of writing this book, and the duration of making sure that this You Need Some Rest is going to become a statement, I have not rested. Because beyond the Holy Spirit, beyond, I actually edited this book on my own as well. It took a lot out of me.
I just want y'all to know, rest is not earned. Okay, rest is deserved.
Yes.
So, baby girl, you do not have to earn your rest. Okay.
Yeah.
I was literally on TikTok the other day, and I was just like, baby, I was like, what did I say? I said I did a whole like 2-hour boxing workout. I worked today. I did another second workout after that. I've like done X, Y, and Z on top of that. I am tired. It's 7 o'clock and I'm already in bed.
Yeah.
And somebody on TikTok was like, baby girl, rest.
Yes.
And I said, oh, okay. I'm waiting on my dinner, but I'm definitely not getting out of this bed. Yeah.
And you know what? What I have to stop feeling guilty about was the time with the timers and all that. And I've learned in my own way with writing this book to mirror what I'm saying. You know? Like, I've just decided, like, shoot, you know what? Homework done. Everybody, babe, we laying down. And I'm laying with y'all. You know? Even if the kids run around, like, I'm in the bed. There, everybody's belly is full. Everybody is bathed. The doors is locked until the husband comes home. Like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I don't need to do that. So I had to learn how to do that, but really mirror what the heck I'm telling everybody else to do. Patricia, do it.
What's one thing, and I feel like you've said it, but we're going to ask again, what's one thing every woman should unlearn about rest? For me, it's y'all don't have to earn it. It is deserved.
Rest is different for everybody. Some people walk on the beach and sit in the sand, and that's. Some people rest their minds by literally just laying down on a bed. Some people rest by going to the gym, or some people rest by getting a smoothie. Like, rest really means when your body is at its stillness. It's called REM sleep when we're at the peak of our sleeping. No, but rest to me is being able to sit, as I mentioned. I've rest my mind, I've rest my feet, I've rest my body. My heart is just pumping because God is good. I'm still alive. But that's what my rest means. Even as I mentioned, even if it's my kids running around in a room, child, I'm resting because I'm sitting still.
Yeah.
I don't sit still at all. But I had to learn how to just sit in it and rest and sit in your rest, whatever that means for you.
Perfect. What's one line from your book you hope people carry with them long after they've put it down?
This.
Okay, I love that. So before we let you go, is there anything else you would like to let the watchers, the team, the listeners know?
I really, really want every single woman watching, every wife, every mother watching to know that you're doing the best that you can. Not everybody was raised with a village. Not everybody has the help or support that they need. Not everybody may have the, but I promise you, those babies need you. And with whatever you're able to give those babies in that day, in that time, that was just enough. I had to learn that. It was just enough. I also want to say, give yourself grace. As I mentioned, all of my maternal figures, my concrete maternal figures are deceased. But you got to give yourself grace. You have to really understand that no matter what, you're doing the best you can.
Yeah, that. Oh my goodness. I thought about it. Before we let you go, first off, when is the book coming out?
The book is coming out before the end of.
Perfect.
Yes, ma'am.
And how will they be able to order it, pre-order it? How much it's going to cost? Do we have that information yet or no? Okay. So what I'm thinking about doing, this will be our second one. I think I want to do a giveaway.
Okay.
We'll figure out how to work this. I will even buy the book with my own money to provide. The last one I didn't. I'm not gonna say y'all, I didn't. But the book was still given away. So this one, I will purchase it with my own money. We can maybe have Patty sign it. We'll see. We'll come up with like a nice little giveaway to promote it. Work it out. I hope you guys like it. So that's all we have for you guys today. We hope that you guys enjoyed today's episode. I hope that you guys enjoyed Patty. Patty, do you want to tell them where they can find you, where they can find the book when it eventually comes out?
Absolutely. So, Sis You Need Some Rest will be on Amazon, ebook, and Kindle. It is definitely coming out because May is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Okay.
Which was the prevalence of the dropping of this book and launching it. And then you can also find me on social media, Franklin Freelance Writing Consultant, Franklin_freelance_MJL on Instagram.
I will also leave her Instagram tagged on the screen. Is there anything else you want to plug before we let you go?
No, I've enjoyed this.
I'm so glad. I'm happy you enjoyed yourself. So before I let you guys go, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to pull up. Because they're going to love it here.
Oh, we do.
Just like you do. That's what I'm talking about. And I'll see you guys in next week's episode. Bye.
You're still here? You know the show's over, right? Don't cry. We'll be back next week. I gotta go be a hoochie. In the meantime, catch up on the older episodes.